The Mouse Who Wanted Shoes. Come closer, little dreamers, and prepare your giggles. For tonight's tale is about a mouse who wanted something very unusual. Not cheese, not berries, not even shiny buttons, but shoes. Yes, shoes, the kind that clop and flop and squeak and peak. And oh, what trouble that little mouse stirred up because of them. In a quiet barn, where hay smelled sweet and chickens clucked all day, there lived a mouse named Poco. Poco was unlike any other mouse. While his cousins scurried about nibbling grains and hiding crumbs, Poco stared at the farmer's boots with wide, admiring eyes. Look at those marvelous things. He squeaked one morning, his whiskers twitching. Boots, sturdy, shiny, clumpy boots. How grand it would be to stomp like that instead of tip-tapping on tiny feet. His cousin Mimi rolled her eyes. Shoes? Mice don't wear shoes, silly. But Poco puffed out his chest. Why not? If farmers and horses and even chickens get coverings for their feet, then why shouldn't mice? I shall have the finest shoes in all the barnyard. So off he went to find some. First, Poco tried the doll's shoes in the farmer's house. He squeezed one onto his paw, but it was so big he tumbled in head first and rolled across the floor like a marble. Not these, he cried, his voice echoing from inside the shoe. Next, he tried sneaking into the hen house. The chickens had straw wrappings around their legs in winter, and Poco thought he might borrow them. But when he tugged at one, the hen squawked so loudly the whole farm woke up. Poco darted away with feathers sticking out of his fur. Not those, he squeaked. Too dangerous. Then he spotted the horse's big iron shoes. Oh, how they sparkled in the sunlight. He tried to drag one, but it was so heavy he flattened his tail under it. Yoch! He hopped in circles until the pigs laughed so hard they snorted mud bubbles. Not these either, groaned poor Poco, rubbing his tail. Finally, he sat on a fence post, sulking. There must be shoes for me somewhere. If I can't find them, I shall make them myself. So he gathered leaves, twigs, and bits of cloth stolen from the laundry line. With nimble paws, he tied and twisted until, oh children, can you imagine it? He had two little shoes shaped like acorns. Poco slipped them on proudly and strutted around. Clop, clop. Clop, clop. He stomped so hard the geese stopped honking just to stare. I am the grandest mouse alive. He squeaked, spinning in a circle. But oh dear, the shoes were slippery. He skidded across the barn floor, bumped into a bucket, and splash landed in the pig trough. The pigs roared with laughter, mud dripping from his whiskers. Nice shoes, Poco, they snorted. But Poco only squeaked. At least they're mine. Now here's where the story grows even sillier. That night, while all the animals slept, Poco's shoes clomped so loudly that the farmer's cat, Slink, pricked up his ears. Clop, 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 clop. Slink crept closer, his tail swishing. What's this? A mouse making music with his paws. What a tasty little drummer boy. Poco froze. His whiskers twitched nervously. Oh, hello, Slink, like my new shoes? He stomped proudly. Slink licked his whiskers. Lovely. They'll make a fine squeak when I pounce. Quick as lightning, Slink leapt, but Poco's slippery shoes made him zoom across the barn like a soap bubble. He slid under a barrel, across a broom, and whizzed between the cat's legs before darting into his mouse hole. The cat slammed into a sack of flour, exploding in a white puff. When the animals woke, they found Slink sneezing clouds of flour while Poco squeaked from his hole. Shoes saved me. The next morning, every mouse in the barn wanted shoes. Make us some Poco, they begged, so Poco became the shoemaker of the mice. He stitched walnut shells, carved corn husks, and even polished beetle shells until every mouse strutted proudly in tiny footwear. And what a sight that was, children. Dozens of mice clapping and clattering across the barn floor like a miniature parade. The chickens tilted their heads in confusion. The pigs snorted in disbelief. The farmer scratched his beard, muttering, "Have I gone mad?" Even the mice wear shoes now. But do you know what happened next? The cat tried again. He leapt at the mice, but their clippity-clop footsteps confused him. Left, right, clop, flop. He stumbled in circles, chasing squeaks that echoed like a marching band. Dizzy, he collapsed in the hay while the mice marched right past him, squeaking triumphantly. From then on, the barn mice were never afraid again. Poco had not only gotten his wish, he had given his whole family away to outwit the cat. And whenever the barn grew too quiet, the animals would hear a cheerful C-L-O-P-C-L-O-P and smile, for they knew Poco the shoemaker was busy at work, dreaming up new ridiculous designs for the smallest but boldest feet in the barn.